We are coming to you live. We're still in Delaware, you guys. I know, it seems like we've been here. Does it seem like we've been here forever?
Long time, yeah.
5 weeks is a long time for us in one place. So kind of cool to be here. This is actually our last live from Delaware.
We're heading back to Georgia.
We're moving on. So we're heading back to Georgia, and it's time to repack our bags, right?
Yeah, packing tonight. So
That's where all of our clothes are.
excited to have y'all here. Just wanted to mention a couple things today. We're gonna jump into some questions that actually came in from the website today. So that's gonna be awesome. And that is a new thing we've added to the website, groundedlifetravel.com. If you don't get your question answered on the live here, or if you're seeing this after the live has ended or seeing it during the week, you can go to groundedlifetravel.com, go to the contact page, and ask your question right on there, and we will answer it on the next live stream. So that's a way, if you missed this live, a lot of people are saying they missed getting in and getting that question asked.
Yeah.
You can ask it right on the website, and we will answer it on the next live show. So
Yeah,
that
and
should be good.
it's easy to find when you get to the website. Just at the top, click on the word contact, and that's how you will find us.
Exactly. One other thing we want to mention before we jump into the questions is that also on the website, we do want to hear your experiences. So
yes.
a lot of people are doing a lot of travel on routes that maybe we've never even been on. And so if you have a trip report, if you've been on a train trip or any type of trip that's Amtrak related, go to the website and find the route guide for that particular route. So if you've been on the Coast Starlight, go to the Coast Starlight route guide and leave a report on there in the comments of what you did, how it was the train late, was it early, how was the food, how was your room, what side were the best views out of,
Right.
because that'll be helpful to other people.
Yeah, and I mean, we enjoy it, but it is very helpful to others who are asking, and sometimes we may not have the answer, and the answer would be in your story. So that would be awesome. So just go straight to the website, groundedlifetravel.com, click on the route that you were on, and then scroll on down to the comment and add your story there.
And that'll give us a chance to see what your trip was like too. So that'll be great. But let's jump into the first question here while people are getting going that came in on the website. And that one that Allie's going to answer.
I'm going to answer because I'll also tell you how Rob cares for his clothes on the train. So the question was, how do you keep your clothes from wrinkling on the train? So this question is about like an overnight. So if you're in a room or a roomette and you've changed, and let's say you sleep in your pajamas for the night and you want to try to keep your clothes from getting all wrinkled overnight, what I do is they do provide you with hangers, and there's a little coat hook, and you could just hang them right there. If you're in a bedroom, there's usually like a little tiny closet you can put your stuff into as well, and then that way you can just hang it, and it's not just a big wrinkly mess like someone else does when they travel in the roomette. What do you do with your clothes, Rob?
I just throw them in the corner.
Rob just jumbles up his clothes into a big wad and sticks it into the corner of his bed.
Yeah, but I am on the upper bunk too, so it is a little more difficult.
So that is how I keep my clothes from getting wrinkled on the train.
I just prefer to go with like a wrinkle-free shirt. But you could hang them. That would be probably a better way to do it.
Okay, so here's a question for you.
Okay, the second question that came in on the website was best cities to visit on the rail pass, and they specifically wanted to know in relation to not having to rent a car to do a vacation all over the United States. So I think the best thing to do in that instance, the best walkable cities and stuff to see, a great one would be the Empire Builder, because Seattle to Chicago, those are both great cities, hotels right nearby. And then linking one of those up with the East Coast, Chicago to New York, you could do on the Lakeshore Limited, or you could take it to Boston. And then you've got a ton of trains from New York that you could use to get from New York up and down the coast to Baltimore, Philadelphia, DC, that type of thing. So the ones you really want to avoid for that type of thing are the Florida cities. Like we just did Miami. you're not in Miami when you go to Miami, and you're not
Yeah.
in Orlando when you go to Orlando.
Yeah.
And so those are the ones that are a lot less walkable. Atlanta is the same way. So really, the southeast cities we don't really recommend for
Right.
doing this type of thing. But the northeast cities and more west coast are the ones you want to go for with the
If
rail.
you don't want to get
If you don't want to get a car and you don't want to use public transportation,
Yeah.
those are the walkable cities you can
Yeah.
do from Amtrak. So
Yeah.
that would be my recommendation.
All right, next question that came into us was just a general travel one of what vacation spot will give me the best bang for my buck?
What vacation spot will get me the best bang? That's in general.
Yes, just in general.
Oh, we just had a super chat come in too. So thank you so much, Daniel. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Daniel.
Daniel says, hello, Allie and Rob. I found out a couple weeks ago I have 8 free upgrades and 2 companion passes. Can I upgrade to a roomette from New York to Tampa? So that's awesome. That's a ton of them.
That means that you got you must have gotten them from being in the guest rewards program, is what I'm assuming.
So
Daniel.
the upgrades, you can't upgrade from like coach. That's a great question. You can't upgrade from like coach to a roomette. What you can do is upgrade from coach to business, and I think you can do business to first.
Yes,
but you
on
can't
the Acela.
You can't do like coach to roomette, and you can't do like roomette to bedroom. So what we found is that we end up having a ton of extra upgrade coupons because we don't ride the Northeast Regional a lot. Now the companion passes are amazing though. You have 2 of those. So we actually just used one of those for our next 2 trips, and those save you a ton of money. So if you're wanting to do a roomette with your newfound coupons, I would recommend putting in the companion pass and seeing the price difference, because it's going to be, on a roomette, we usually save about $200 using a companion pass.
Yeah.
So that having 2 of those is great.
Yeah, that's great.
They're probably worth about $200 each.
Yeah.
So thank you so much
Awesome.
for the super chat. I hope that answers your question on there. And yeah, definitely keep those and do them. We have to see how many we have coming up too.
I know. I think we have another 2, but I'll check. Okay, so back to your question.
What
best
vacation
vacation
spot
spot
will get-
was best bang for your buck.
That's going to be worldwide.
I think U.S.
U.S.
I think this
okay.
question was U.S. based.
Okay, so I think the answer for that for us is whatever's in down low season. So we tend to go wherever is low season. So Vegas is really cheap if you're not there during something big going on. A place we usually end up a lot is Orlando, because if you're not there, if you're there while school's in, that's really cheap.
Right.
The big cities also, if you're there in the downtime, like we go to Washington D.C. a lot during Thanksgiving week, because
We've spent several Thanksgivings in
staffers
D.C.
and the Congress, and there's no way they're there during that week, so everything's empty hotel wise. So really, best bang for your buck depends on where you want to go, just picking the right time. There's not really a city. Every city can be expensive, and every
Right.
city can be cheap. So
Right.
pick the low time and pick a city, and you'll get good bang for your buck that way.
Good. And then someone asked us if we had any horrible travel experiences. You know, the thing about it is that we've had a lot of like inconveniences, but I don't know that I would use the
Yeah.
word horrible
No.
for anything that we've ever experienced. It's just been inconvenient stuff like, you know,
We get delayed, you know, just like
a
everybody
delay
else.
either on a train, or we've had flights, you know, get canceled at the last minute and have to make arrangements, different things like that, but nothing really horrible. But then again, we take a lot of things in stride, so I guess it's depends on the person.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might think that those are horrible things, but you just go with the flow.
The next question that came in on the website was, have you been inspired to move to any of the places that you've traveled? And I think definitely yes. We've definitely been inspired One right off the bat would be San Diego. We were just there on Amtrak on the Pacific Surfliner and loved it. So that would be one that we would
Yeah,
consider.
but that's been on our list, I think, for a long time.
Yeah.
But yes.
So let me jump into some of these questions coming in here live today. Kevin says, I live in the DC area and I'm never here at Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's good.
And that's why we drive into town to replace you.
Yeah, we are the replacement DC Thanksgiving people because it's really cheap. Like we got a hotel for $50.
Yeah, it's
1
crazy.
year.
Like right in the middle of everything.
Also, is there a category while you are booking called the bedroom suite, or do you have to just book 2 bedrooms? So I think you need to call in for that because
yes.
I've never seen bedroom suite.
Yes.
And that's a great question too. No one's ever asked that question.
Yeah.
But I think you have to call in to make sure they're next to each other. Because if you just book 2 bedrooms, you might get different rooms, and that would be.
Oh, and while we're on here, I just saw it pop up too. Maurice, our friend the conductor, is on here also chatting. So if you see Maurice commenting back to you, he knows what he's talking about. So
Yeah.
just know that he's on here. Hi, Maurice.
Hey, Maurice. Maurice Burke. So I'm going to try to scroll up here and get some of the other comments that came in. Have a couple people said they're just boarding the Empire Builder today, so that's
Ooh.
exciting.
Oh, yay. Safe travels, guys.
Gary's asking, have you ever seen ice cream offered anywhere on Amtrak?
No.
I have not.
No, but you know what? You're right. That would be a good cafe offering or a good meal, like dessert offering. I have had pudding offered to me before, but that's not really ice cream.
Let's see. Giuseppe is saying he just loves learning how Amtrak works. He is from Europe, and
Okay.
we are excited to learn how your trains work in Europe as well. We've been on a few, and we're hoping to do more pretty soon. So, Letitia is asking, never been on Amtrak. It'd be a first time. Does Amtrak go from New York to California? So yes, they do.
The answer is yes.
But you have to take 2 trains to do that.
Yeah.
So from New York, you could take the Lakeshore Limited to Chicago. And then from Chicago, you have a ton of options to get to California. Well, 3 really. You could take the Texas Eagle, Southwest Chief, or the California Zephyr.
No, Empire Builder. No, you're
California.
right.
Yeah, I always get the Coast Starlight and
You're right.
California Zephyr
Yes.
mixed up. But so you got 3 options from California, Chicago to California. That would all be good.
And we've done all of those.
Evan is saying he does remember seeing prepackaged ice cream cups on one of the trains.
Really? Ooh.
But it's certainly not an option now. He says,
Okay. So used to have it, now not so much.
Okay, any tips?
Thank you, Evan.
Riding the Amtrak Wolverine from Pontiac, Michigan to Chicago. That's a pretty short ride, so I don't know that there's any specific tips for that. I'm trying to think what side is best going into Chicago.
Oh, yeah, because it is really pretty
I
coming
think
into
I
Chicago.
prefer, if you're coming in, I think I prefer being on the north side of the train, which is going to be to the right. That would be my tip.
Yeah.
I think.
Just so you can see the city.
We've ridden it on both sides of Chicago, and you can kind of see the skyline riding in Chicago. If
Right as
looking
you're arriving in.
sort of north, yeah.
It is pretty, though.
And Daniel says, yes, he is a guest rewards
Oh,
member
okay.
program. Yeah, we actually
Okay,
we bit the bullet and signed up for the other credit card because it is a really good deal. If you're not
50,000 points is a
Yeah.
good deal, you guys.
if you're not in the guest rewards and you don't have the Amtrak credit card, it's not a commercial, not sponsored or anything.
We don't get anything for it.
But there's 50,000 free points, which is worth like $1,200 in travel.
It's silly not to get it.
So, and it is.
So we got a second one.
We got a second. We each have one now.
Now we each have one.
So it's $79 a year, I think, and
It more than covers for it.
Yeah.
And you can get your guest rewards points faster. And like Daniel, you could end up with those coupons a lot faster and a lot more of them.
Yeah,
too.
you get a couple of those coupons for free when
Yeah.
you get the thing, and then
Yeah.
you earn them a lot.
And I actually just finished up a blog about all of these details on the guest rewards card. It's on the website, groundedlifetravel.com. All of the details are there. And then I also wrote one about all of the guest reward benefits by level, and I've got it all graphed out for you. So definitely head over there and look at those so you can see if it's worth it to you as far as what type of travel you have coming up. Those two blogs, the guest rewards and about the card, and you'll get all the details there at the blog.
Okay, Mike is asking, do the windows open as I am a bit claustrophobic?
They do not
So, no.
open, Mike. No. You'd be surprised. So actually, it doesn't. I get claustrophobic, which is one of the reasons why I do not sleep in the upper bunk. When we share a roomette, graciously, Rob always sleeps on the top bunk for me because I do get claustrophobic. So that does bother me. So I understand it to a certain extent, but I don't ever feel claustrophobic in the roomette. As a matter of fact, you can always just have the door open if you like as well. Sometimes we pull the curtain like halfway or all the way, just totally up to you. But that's one thing that can help you if you're in a roomette and you're concerned about, getting claustrophobic. That's one thing you could do is open the door.
And another question came in, and I think Maurice has already answered this, but I'll go over it quick in case they're not reading the chat. Any word of Amtrak will restore service from New Orleans to Orlando? And but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Doesn't look like it.
So I think he already answered that, but I think it's pretty no. Do you feel safe on Amtrak after the train derailment a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, I definitely feel safe on Amtrak. No questions asked.
We've got trips planned, and actually we'll be traveling with Rob's parents. Earlier this year, we took my mom and dad on vacation in May, and now it's Rob's parents, my other mom and dad, and we're gonna take them this next week. So we're taking them on the train with us, and we don't really have any concerns. We're just gonna ride it like normal.
Yeah. So Rosanna's asking, taking my first trip to California from Chicago, any tips for first timers? We actually this week's video was a video on first time Amtrak rider tips.
Yep.
And I'm trying to remember what we said in the video.
I know, I'm trying to remember too.
All the tips, like, they go together.
If you didn't see Friday's video, go back and watch that one, because now we can't remember what we said.
Yeah, so instead of giving a really short answer here, there's a 14-minute answer.
There's a way better answer to your question.
It was the very last video that we made.
And we hope you have a good trip, Rosanna.
Yeah. Let's see. Kevin, my first trip on Thursday, Chicago Capital Limited to DC, then DC to CHS on the Silver Meteor. Ooh. 2 trains, both in a roomette. First trip. So excited. That's awesome, Kevin. Where's CHS? That's Charleston, maybe?
CHS, I'm trying to think which one it is.
Capital Limited. Chicago to DC. We just did that one, the Capital Limited.
Yes.
It was on a video I think we posted a few weeks ago. And loved the Capital Limited.
Yeah, it was actually kind of cool.
It actually has some really good scenery.
It did have a lot of really good scenery. Actually, right now would be the perfect time to ride it because the colors are changing on the trees. So, that was Charleston. Yes.
Yeah.
The colors are changing. So that there's a lot of scenery as far as like trees and.
There's some rivers that you go over that
Harper's
are really...
Ferry, go through Harper's Ferry as well. Is beautiful, absolutely insane.
Don't miss that part
Yes.
when you're doing it.
Yes.
Let's see. Grammy's asking, how many points might be rewarded on a RT roomette to Chicago? Is April peak season there? April is not peak season in Chicago. That's going to be June, July, August. Pretty much, because it's cold the rest of the year. But it's fine. How many points might be rewarded on a roomette? It depends on, so the points are awarded based on how much you spend, not on like just a roomette or coach. It's how much you spent on your ticket, and depending on your reward level.
2 points for $1.
but you get more too if you're like
Depending on which tier you
if
are.
you're higher up, yeah, you'll get more. So you'll get them based on how much you spent. So it depends on how good of a deal you got, really.
Okay. What else we
So
got?
you could answer that a little bit. How does talk about the tier? People want to know about the rewards, the tier system and the rewards.
Okay, the tier system. You know what? I'm going to pull up my blog here. Actually, I'm going to go right to our website and pull up our blog about the guest rewards program, because
I'll
it is
answer one.
actually a really good program. If you are going to use Amtrak a lot, you do get coupons there as well. So that's.
I'll
gonna
answer
be
another
really
one while you
awesome.
look that up.
Okay.
Evan's saying he'd like to have a guide or blog post on which sides and departure times for long distance trains are the best.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
We
I'll
could
give
do
you
that,
a
Evan.
couple. If you want to know one today, just say which train you want to know. But for me, a lot of the times it seems like the north side is best on the long distance one. Definitely on the Empire Builder, the north side is the best. I think on the Southwest Chief, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I think
They're
on the
about the same view.
I think
both
on the
sides.
Texas Eagle, the south side is the best, and the Sunset Limited also. And I think on the California Zephyr, I think the south side is the best, and I think the Coastar Light, obviously, the west side is the best. So that's my quick answer for you, but we will do a video about that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so here's how it works. Basically, like we were saying earlier, you get 2 points for every dollar you spend on Amtrak travel. You get a 25% point bonus if you do business, if you book a business seat. And if you're on the Acela and you're doing first class, you get a 50% bonus on that. And then they do have partner point offers as well. And then they also do tier status point bonus. So if you're a member, which is just the basic, you just signed up, you have 0, haven't done anything, you don't get any point status upgrade there. But if you are select, which is the first level, that's 25%. If you are select plus, it's 50%. And if you are executive, you get 100% tier point bonus. So that is really good. And then you also get coupons for all the varying levels. You get class upgrades, like Daniel was talking about, companion coupons. Only Select Plus and Executive get those. You get 2 for each level. And also, if you're doing the auto train, you get priority boarding, but only with the executive tier. And then 10% discount coupon is for all the levels except for the member one as well. But I have a chart with so much more information as far as Metropolitan Lounge and priority numbers and exclusive offers. So make sure you go check that blog out, because I spent a long time working on it.
I'm laughing here because I just
What?
saw a question there said they were
Uh-oh.
going from Elizabethton to
Oh
Georgia.
my gosh.
Yeah, but it's your dad asking the question. Her parents live there.
I was like, oh, that's cool. My never mind. It's just my parents.
So hi Allie's parents.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Someone's asking if you get points for the USA Rail Pass. And so you do get points, but the way that it works is you get points on the money you spend on the Rail Pass.
Right.
So if it's $499, you get points based on that. You don't get points. It's not like airline miles where you're going to get points for miles for every
right.
trip. You get points based on dollars, not based on miles.
Which
so.
is why the card offer is so good. The Amtrak card offer is because you get more points. You get points faster without even traveling by using the Amtrak card.
Some people are saying some routes for fall foliage, and
I just did a blog on that too.
Maurice answered Vermonter, which
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. That would be
Yeah.
my top recommendation.
Which-
Maurice is right.
we haven't been on the Vermonter because when we were up there, it was still not opened up yet, and that's
Right.
why we had to do the crazy
Yeah. To
ride the
finish
train
the
to
50
Maine,
states, yes.
and then rent a car and then drive through Vermont, and
Yeah, we ended up, when we got to the Vermont, to Brattlesboro, I don't know if that's how you say it, sorry, friends from Vermont. When we got to Brattlesboro, the station was closed because it literally only opens for the train pulling in. but I still took a picture in front of the station. If you've watched that video, you'll see me standing in the dark in front of the station saying, I made it here, even though I couldn't get there by train.
So where is home for you?
Home, wherever both of us are.
Yeah, Atlanta.
But yes, Atlanta is where our stuff is, so.
Yeah, that's home. We're going home
This week.
this week. Yeah, going to Atlanta. All your trips averaged together, how well does the Wi-Fi perform? It performs as well as your cell phone connection, or actually a little bit worse than your cell phone connection. So it depends. Generally, not well, I would say.
Yeah.
It's mostly just for your computer. You're not going to put your cell phone on Wi-Fi and you get an upgrade.
Right.
So what it's for is if you have a computer and you don't have a way of getting your computer online, you're going to get that online easy, or like a tablet or something that you don't have a Wi-Fi connection, but it won't be faster than your cell phone connection.
Yeah.
So it's not like, super high speed.
Yeah.
You mentioned Europe. Any chance we'll see international vlogs, ideas on YouTube in the future? That would be cool. What do you think?
The answer is yes. We are actually planning that as we speak. We've been working on some train travel in Europe and Canada, so we do have some cool stuff coming up for you guys. We've done it in the past. We've traveled in Scotland and throughout the UK, as well as a lot throughout Europe, through Switzerland, through Italy. So we're hoping to vlog those for you this time around and get back to those places. So we are planning on it. So if you guys have any other suggestions, let us know, because we can add them into what we're planning on.
Let us know what would be cool to see, because we're thinking, most of Europe and Canada. So we've been to other places with trains. We actually rode some really cool trains in Thailand, but we didn't take videos, sadly.
I have one little clip. It's really cool. It's a train market. So the train goes through this market, but the market is literally on the train tracks. I have a little clip. I think I'll put it on the story. So make sure you look for the story on YouTube. But I have a little clip of the train going over. So what happens is when the train is coming through, the people in the market move all their stuff out of the way, except for anything that can lay flat. So you'll see like trays of, vegetables laying on the ground, and the train goes right over them. It's the most fascinating thing we've probably ever seen in our life. And then the other kind of interesting train that we rode is we rode what was known as the death train. We went to the River Kwai, in Thailand, and so that was it was interesting and sobering. It was just a really kind of different experience, right? Yeah. So we've been on a couple of different ones in Thailand as well.
So Daniel is asking, what happens if your train is late and you miss your next train? Does Amtrak put you on a later train? Yes, they do. But that train might be the next day. So you may have to stay overnight. And so for that reason, we do not recommend making really tight connections, because if you are like, well, I get into Chicago and then it's 2 hours and then I'm going, somewhere else. The next train, if like the Empire Builder only goes once a day.
Right.
So if you miss it, you're waiting until the next day. So make sure you get in plenty early if you're trying to make a connection. We usually, for that reason, just plan on staying a night and staying in a hotel and seeing the city and that way. So we don't have to worry about that. That's a great question. Stephanie asks, hello, are all handicapped family bedrooms on the bottom floor? Also, if I'm licensed to carry, can I carry on Amtrak? So the first one is...
The first one is the handicap. The accessible rooms are on the main level only. For obvious reasons, you can't go upstairs. They'd have to carry you upstairs. It'd be very difficult. And they're not bedrooms really per se. It's really a roomette with a bathroom, and it's all in one. They're not necessarily a family bedroom because it only sleeps 2. And then as far as carrying, you cannot bring a weapon on the train.
Yeah, so the handicap room and the family bedroom are 2 different things.
Different
there's
things.
a handicap room and there's a family bedroom. So the family bedroom sleeps 4, the handicap room sleeps 2, but they're the same size. They're just, there's more, the handicap room has the toilet in the room and the family bedroom does not.
Right.
So there's room for
They're actually right across the hall from each other,
Yeah.
one on one end, one on the other.
That's on a superliner. On a viewliner, there is no
No family,
bedroom.
exactly.
There's just handicap
Yes.
room. Okay, so Dawn is saying Ireland and Scotland.
Ooh, yes,
For
we
train.
loved both of those.
Yeah, we did a train. We did a train
Oh, and the one in Scotland?
from London to Scotland, and it was almost a disaster.
To Edinburgh, yes, and it was almost a disaster.
If not for the help of a friendly,
Very
I don't know-
friendly
I don't know what-
attendant.
yeah,
I don't
train-
know what you called them, but I think he saw the look on our faces and he was like, "These 2 are gonna die if I don't help them."
Yeah.
So he literally was just like, ugh. Like he was annoyed that he was gonna do it, but he like dug down deep.
he was breaking the rules to do it.
You're,
Obviously,
you're not supposed to tell people, but I think he knew that we were not going to fare well. and
because
he
the
didn't
way
tell
it
us.
works in London is that if you are going from London to Edinburgh, you'll buy your ticket on this train, and it was not reserved seating. It was just like you get there, you get your seat. And he apparently knew that this train was so oversold that every seat would be taken, and there
And
would
then
be
some.
about 30 people standing in each train
Mm-hmm.
car. And so they don't announce what track it's going to be on till like 15 minutes before the train leaves.
Mm-hmm.
When they announce it, they put it on the board. The entire station runs at once to get on to get a seat. And so he said to us,
was so
if I were
crazy.
you, I would go stand near track 5 right now.
Uh-huh.
And so we were like, okay, well,
Sure. Okay.
we'll do
thanks.
that. So we went, and the train
We
was
walked
actually
right on over there.
train was there, so we just got on the train.
Yeah, they let us get on the
And
train
then
because it was sitting
We
there.
were like, I don't know what the big deal was, and then they put the thing up on the
We
board.
heard the announcement.
and hundreds of people. It was like
Running.
Armageddon. It was like hundreds of people running and tripping over each other, and there was so many people on that train that you couldn't get up out of your seat. There's no way
No.
you could have made it to the bathroom.
No, you're just
You'd have had to
holding it.
pass
Yeah.
30 people, and it was like that.
Who were
for-
standing in the aisles with
It was
their
like that for like
bags.
4 or 5 hours. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna go over there and figure out how to do it.
Now we're gonna do it better this time.
Let's see. I want to go to New York City from Toccoa, Georgia. Does that train ride have all the nice amenities? That's the. That is, let's see, Toccoa. That's the Crescent. That's the one we're gonna be on.
Yeah, we're gonna be
'Cause,
zipping
yeah.
right past them.
We're going to Gainesville, Georgia, so not far. So that's the Crescent. It does have all the amenities. What it doesn't have is it doesn't have an observation car,
Right.
and it does not have traditional dining right now. So it'll have flex dining, and there's no observation car. But it does have rooms, roomettes, bedrooms, all that. It's a viewliner. So if you want to know exactly what's on there, you can look on the website to viewliner. Yeah, someone said Peachtree Station is just so small. That's where we're going. The like the it's not a Metropolitan now. It's
The
just like,
Metropolitan Lounge is divided by just like a
it's 3 seats.
just like a rope.
Let's see. I'm looking at an Amtrak station for my honeymoon. That's cool. I'm worried about how the hotel check-ins work because we're arriving at our destinations at wildly different times. Yeah, we've never had a problem with that. And here's the thing. If you book like a major chain hotel, like a Marriott or whatever, Holiday Inn, anything, you're not gonna have a problem. If you book like Bob's Hotel in Tacoma, you're gonna have, it's a family-run hotel. We've had problems with that getting in really late. We've actually had to wake people up to get
check
in.
us in.
They've always done it, but
Yeah.
if you're at a major hotel, there's always 24-hour desk service. So if that's a concern for you, just stick with major brands that you've heard of, and you won't have an issue with that.
All right, rapid fire, last few.
Rapid fire, and then just
We got
want
a
to
few
mention
more.
again, if you want to get your question answered at the beginning of the next show and you're seeing this late, go to the website, groundandlifetravel.com,
Click on contact,
ask your question there,
And then type it in.
we'll do it at the beginning of the
and
very next show.
we'll answer it next one.
If you're seeing this. All right, so we'll do some rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Let's see. The Gone in Australia would be a cool train ride. All right, that sounds
That
great.
would be cool. That sounds great.
That
That would give us continent number 6.
I used my credit card to book relatives' travel, but I didn't receive points. Will the Amtrak credit card resolve this? You would get points for that, yeah.
You would get points,
You would get
yeah,
points.
yeah.
You wouldn't maybe
Usually it
get-
takes about a month or so to see it in your statement, the points, so you do have to be a little bit patient with it, but if it's been a while, I would go ahead and call them and check on that.
Clarification, if you miss connecting train of your fault, they will put you of Amtrak's fault, they will put you on. If you miss it
Yeah.
by your fault, that is a little dicier, yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that happen
We've
before,
never had to
so
do that, but there's no guarantee
Yeah.
with that. You might get some
You might-
resolution.
yeah.
You have to call them and figure out what they would do. That's a case by
Yeah.
case.
All right, last few.
When the Empire Builder was late, they paid for us. That's someone answering.
Oh, okay. And then what's the difference between coach and business? There, I just did I did a blog last week on the differences between coach and business, and also between business and a first class on Acela as well. So make sure you check that out on the blog. But there's not a ton of differences. It really, at the end of the day, on that just depends on how long your trip is. You'll get a little bit more comfort, and you'll get free beverages with your business class on most of the trains. So
Yeah, someone's asking if you get a tour your first time. You don't really get a tour, but you can ask any questions, and they'll be really happy
Yeah.
to show you whatever you want to see, and you can wander around the train. How does Amtrak compare to other countries' trains? I really like Amtrak, and I think the thing you have to remember with other countries' trains is that there are things Amtrak offers that others don't, except for maybe Canada, because the United States is so big. So when you're
Right.
talking about doing trains in a smaller country, there just isn't a 3-night ride,
Right.
Or a 2-night ride. You just can't
because
go.
it won't take you that long to get across
You
it.
know, and so Amtrak provides this like experience that's amazing that you really don't get in other countries.
Yeah.
So,
All right, last two questions. What do you got?
let's see. Do they have simple foods? I saw that one. Yeah, they do have simple food in the cafe.
Uh-huh.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza.
Macaroni and cheese.
Let's see.
Sometimes they have fresh sandwiches, but not always. Last
A
question.
couple people are asking how much it costs. There's really no way
Okay.
to know. So I'm going to tell you this though. It depends on how early you book your ticket. So the earlier you book your ticket, the cheaper it's going to be. But in that regard, it's like when the train is empty, the ticket will be the cheapest. As the train fills up, the tickets go up in price. So if you're the last one to buy the ticket, you will have paid the most to be on that train. So there's no way to answer how much it'll cost to go from one place to another unless you go on the website and check that out. But just try to do it early, and
Yeah.
that'll be the better
Yeah.
deal. So thank you everyone for coming. If we were unable to get to your question, go leave it on the website. We will answer it.
It will
first
be at the top of the list next week.
the next one. Yeah, and that'll be great. So thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. And don't forget, if you have a trip report or a story, go leave it as a comment on the blog so that we can read it, and so that other people can read it
And learn from it.
And learn from it. Just find the blog corresponding to your trip. There's one for each route, and that would be great for us to see what you are doing, because we really would love to hear your stories as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. We will catch you next time, and we won't be in Delaware next time.
We'll be home.
We'll see you next week, right? Yes.
we'll be home.
We'll be back next week. So send us your questions, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.